And another thing, Russ, clean up your room. Don't park in my parking spot. And
you know what? You had 6 spots last year. You're down to half.
Yeah.
Cut that vehicle in half.
Yeah, and I told you not to touch my mug. It's my mug.
Now that's a throwback. I'm not going to get derailed here, but that's a throwback.
Don't touch my mug.
Oh, boy.
Another thing, Russ. I'm going to look back at you, and I'm going to be really, really mean and brrr. I asked him about it today. I asked Payton about it. I was like, so do you have to hash it out with Russ? And he goes, not at all.
No.
Got a great relationship. I'm like, all right, dude.
I got a theory. We want to go straight into it?
Yeah, hell yeah, of course, man. That's all anybody's talking about.
All right, so why the heck was Sean Payton yelling at Russell Wilson after the botched series of 2 potential touchdowns that Sean Payton didn't challenge either one of them?
Nice job, Sean.
Also, Sean Payton, I think, lost his mind and forgot that he had to score 7 points there.
Yeah,
Even when they got backed up, he just lost his mind. He's like, oh, I'm gonna settle for 3 points because I'm mad at Russ and I'm mad at everything else that happened. So I'm going to settle for 3 points here. But so you come to the sideline, and Sean's initially, he's undressing Davis Webb. Because that's quarterback's coach, right? I don't know why. I don't know why. Then he undresses Russell Wilson. Why? I don't know why. It's in a public forum. It certainly looks like Sean Payton's mad at something on TV. They're speculating that it's about the fact that in the play call, Sean probably told Russell Wilson, hey, take as much time as possible on these plays because we want an opportunity to check out the review, right?
Uh-huh.
So called the play, get up the line of scrimmage, buy us a little time. Maybe that could have happened. For sure, that could have happened. I also saw that Skip Bayless speculated that Russell Wilson had the guts to go up to the sideline and ask Sean, why didn't you challenge either of those 2 plays? That could have happened. Either one of those 2 are feasible. I've got a different opinion, and Dan, we'll see if you can find the audio here real quick. I'm putting you on the spot. I'm sorry. But if you listen to Sean Payton,
so the answer is no.
Well, I put him on the spot, so I'm giving a little bit of grace here. But if you listen to Sean Payton's post-game audio there, when he's talking about the play, he said, I was upset about the play before.
Yeah.
He did not say, I was upset about the call before. He did not say, I was upset because we didn't get the challenge in or whatever. My theory, and it's just a theory, no way I can prove this, is that when he says I was upset about the play before, okay, play it real quick.
No, I said the frustrating part of the sequence was the next play to Burton where we scored. I was upset about the call. That's all. Simple. That's it. No, I was upset at the call.
Speaking of frustration,
Yeah.
you get the 40-yard pass
Okay.
and then you lose.
Well, I guess I didn't hear him say the call part because I heard the play part. But my theory was that he was actually upset because why would he be yelling at Davis Webb? Maybe because Russ audibled into something. Maybe that pitch to Javonte that should have been a walk-in touchdown, which, by the way, Javonte, get it together, dude. You got to get it together. You're right there on the 1-yard line. Lower your shoulder, score a freaking touchdown, right? I wonder if Russ maybe audibled into something at that particular moment that Sean was like, hey, Davis, what the hell are you teaching this guy? Why are you allowing him to audible in this? Because why was he yelling at the quarterback coach and Russ?
All great questions.
Because they were standing by side each other. You brought up about 15 talking points for the entire day.
Yeah.
In like 30, I don't know, like 3-minute rant. You just brought in 15.
We got about 3 hours to cover it.
I know. You brought about 15 things to talk about. First of all, the first thing I saw when you saw it, here, you can't be on that side of that post because when this thing goes out so that I can see my partner, it has to be on that side. There you go. Thank you. They're fixing the thing.
Hey, listen, it's a work in progress.
Yeah. The scorpion is always the scorpion. The first thing I saw, because I don't know when's the last time you guys watched it. Did you guys watch it Saturday? Have you watched it since?
No.
Yes.
So I went back and watched it again last night to go back over it. I watched that whole sequence. And it's funny. And listen, announcers are announcers, and they're supposed to be neutral on those national games like that. They won it on both of those. What's his name came back, said he thought maybe Williams was down, but he thought the first one to pass to McLaughlin should have been challenged. Probably was a touchdown. Dude, I just think he's a scorpion, and I think he loses it. It's kind of like,
I think he lost it.
but it's kind of like when your wife says, "Hey, go get the whatever," in the kitchen, and you go in and you're opening 15, 20 drawers, and you can't find the whatever she
Where
wants.
Is it?
I said, I have no idea. It's how long have you lived in here? Don't you do nothing? And then all of a sudden you get hammered. I go, well, you just redid the drawers. I don't know what we put in. Well, you should be paying. And I just think it was just an involuntary. I'm gonna hammer you for no reason. I looked at him on that thing. I thought it made him look bad, but I'm biased. I'm not a fan of Sean Payton. I cheer for him, but I'm not a fan of him. And I thought that was a scorpion being the scorpion.
I think Sean Payton was a wreck in that series.
He looked like a lunatic.
You should have challenged either one of those. If you're not going to challenge the first one, you damn sure got to challenge the second one, because guess what? Those timeouts aren't as important as 7 points.
No.
But then to prove your point even further of him losing his mind, he literally forgot I got to score 7 points. Like I got backed up, so now I'm going to settle for 3.
And if you score a touchdown, it's 14. So now does that make it 28-14?
Yeah, it's an interesting game.
If the defense, which they didn't in the second half, could actually have gotten a
All
stop.
right, but at least you got 7 points. Maybe the defense can rally around
that's
that.
what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. So if they do that and the defense could have got a stop, you scored the next drive also.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a 28-21 game. Now, I mean, as poorly as that first half it turned out,
You were down.
or the second quarter turned out, because I would argue the first quarter defensively they were great.
So here's one thing that's true. Sean Payton lost his mind. I think you're right. Also, he's a scorpion. He's looking for someone to blame. But I can promise you this. He is not telling you the truth when he says, I was just upset about the play beforehand. No. You don't go to the quarterback coach and start dogging him out because the referee didn't give you a call, and then you don't go to the referee, or then you don't go to the QB because you're dogging him out because the referee didn't give you a call. No, you were mad at those two guys about something that happened with the quarterback.
Can I bring the conspiracy theory?
Of course.
Whopper of all conspiracy theory.
Of course.
And you remember early in the year, and I think it's before you got here, I said, listen, my birdies are telling me he wants to go back to L.A. He wants to be the head coach in L.A. He built a big old house in L.A.
He did.
He wants to be back in L.A. So as soon as that happened, I get a text. Your boy's trying to get fired so he can take the Charger job. And I'm like, oh, God, I think that might be a little bit of a reach. But that was my guy said.
Well, I think we're steaming down the road. I mean, what he was really yelling at Russ about, in my opinion, was, why aren't you Drew Brees?
Yeah.
It's just not for him.
But
it was pent-up frustration of probably 5 weeks.
But
right?
hold it. But think about this. You actually scored 3 straight plays. I mean, if you
I get it.
There's a chance you just scored on 3 straight.
And to Tyler's
plays.
point, it's 4th and goal from the 6. Go for it.
I mean, who cares if you got
down,
backed up?
down 28-7.
You know what I think that was also? Not only did he lose his mind, I think that was him proving a point to Russ. I do. I think that was him.
Look what you made us
That was
do.
him sacrificing his team
Look what we
to
had
prove
to
a point
do.
to Russ.
Look what we had to do because of you.
Yeah. Yep.
Now,
All right, so let me play this. This is earlier today, Dan. Me talking to Sean Payton.
Coach, did you feel the need to hash things out with Russ one-on-one or address the blow-up with the team?
Not at all. First off, we haven't had a team meeting, and Russ and I have a great relationship. No, not at all.
He gave him an extra day off. How about that? Says everybody's just a little bit tired. They could have had a meeting, a practice, whatever. They didn't. Gave him an extra day off.
Yep.
Says he's got a great relationship with Russell Wilson. Guys, come on.
hey, but listen,
man.
how
Come
many
on.
guys
Come
get
on.
divorced and get hit over the head? And you go, dude, I thought the relationship was great.
Right.
and then you end up in front of the judge and the lawyer, and they're going, he didn't do this, he didn't do this, he didn't do this, he didn't do this, he didn't do this. And you're like, oh, I thought we had a good relationship.
Wow. That added up quickly.
I know, right?
That is
financially also.
If Sean
Added up
Payton, God,
quickly.
maybe he really does mean that. Maybe he really
That's
does
what I'm saying.
think that. He's that delusional.
He's a scorpion. He's got one thing in mind. Let me sting who's ever in front of me. Never my fault. Get out of my
You
way.
have a coach yell at you like that. You guys are both pro athletes. You have a coach yell at you like that. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I actually called into the morning show today because I heard them talking about this. And Vic's whole take, which I tend to agree with, I'd love to see Russ stand up for himself at some point. It's not who he is. And I'm not telling him to bark at his teammates or bark at whoever. But I've never seen
I'm about to say
a coach.
something.
I've never seen a coach lay into a franchise quarterback like that. I really haven't. I mean, I've seen it with Daniel Jones. I've seen it with guys like that. But like with a Peyton Manning or a Drew Brees or whatever, I've never seen it done. And Vic's whole take on it was, I'd love to see Russ stand up for him. I agree. And here's my analogy on it. Only about 3 times in my career did I ever really clap back at a coach. One time it got me cut. Another time, my second year in the NFL, we were playing out in Philadelphia. Josh McDaniels, the head coach. The assistant coaches are stressed out. The assistant coaches don't know what the heck they're coaching. They don't understand the scheme, right? And so we're out in Philadelphia. I'm playing, and we had this one protection where we had a tight end in. And if the Sam blitzes, the tight end's going to block the DN. I'm going to take the Sam. If the corner blitzes, I'm going to bump out to the DN, and the tight end's going to take the corner. Well, both the corner and the Sam blitzed, right? So I took the most dangerous. I took the Sam.
So you did McGlinch and you just took what was the easiest.
No.
Oh,
I did my job. I did my job. Like that was literally the definition of the job. But I come to the sideline, and Rico is just laying into me like, and he doesn't cuss, but he's got a way to get after you without cussing, right? And Josh McDaniels comes. Now Josh is laying into me like you wouldn't believe. And finally, I right then and there, I turned to Rico and I said, "Hey, I did exactly what the F you told me to do." I stood up. I got in his face. I said, "I did exactly what the F you told me to do." And we started barking back and forth a little bit. I said, "The Sam came and the corner came. I took the Sam because it's the most dangerous," exactly like you said, right in front of Josh. And at that moment, Rico sat down and he shut up and he didn't say another word. And then 2 days later,
bring your playbook.
No, actually the complete opposite. I was expecting that. 2 days later, we went to work and he doesn't say a word. And on Wednesday night at like 7 o'clock at night.
Who's he?
Rico.
Okay.
Rico. Wednesday night at like 7 o'clock at night, he calls me at my house, and I get the call. Now you get a call at 7 o'clock. I'm like, oh, I'm getting cut, right? He says, "Hey, how you doing?" So I'm doing all right. He says, "Look, it's on me. You're right. I got to trust you out there. I didn't see it on the field. I didn't see the corner come. You're right. That's on me. I apologize, but I appreciate what you did. You stood up for yourself, and I'm going to look at things differently now." My relationship with Rick Dennison was different from that day on. For the next 6 years, it was different from that day on. And I do wish Russell Wilson would do that with Sean Payton.
I had the same situation happen with Mike Fratello, and Mike and I are buddies now to this day, 40 years later. And we're playing the Sacramento Kings. No. I don't know if it was Kansas City Kings or Sacramento Kings. Mark Oberdink. Remember Mark Oberdink?
I do.
6'8", big, stout dude. And I'm guarding him over the post, and I'm supposed to get high side. That's what we're doing. And he's got his arm wrapped around my outside thigh to try to keep me from going around him to deny. And the ball's going in, and I get a little finger out. I actually deflected out of bounds, right? But he's got his arm around me. And I did this more for the official who's right there. And Fratello just yells at me. I knocked the ball out of bounds. He goes, "Get in front of me," and just, yelling at me. And I go, "See, I'm trying. He's got a hold of my leg." I'm doing it so the official knows the guy's holding me. Boom, boom, boom. Another play. I come out. I'm actually playing pretty good. I've had a good game.
Okay.
Come out, and Fratello comes over real serious. He goes, "Hey, did you say he was holding you?" And I go, "Yeah." And I think he said, "Yeah." And he comes over and taps my leg. And he goes, "Why don't you just sit right here so you don't get your little boo-boo hurt?"
Did you almost punch him? Did you almost punch him?
Listen, I played pretty physical.
Yeah.
And so why don't you just sit right here so you don't get your little boo-boo hurt? He said it just like that.
Yeah.
And I looked at him, I said, "F you."
Right there on the bench.
Yeah, F you, mother.
Right.
He goes, "What'd you say?" And I'm looking dead at him because now I'm sitting down. He don't want me to stand up.
That's right.
he don't want me to stand up. I said, "You heard me?" And I'm staring at him. I ain't letting him off the hook. You want to say something else? Only time in my life I've ever talked about the coach. But I'm being in the game with play a back-to-back in Cleveland. Go to Cleveland the next day, and I know he didn't want to play me foul trouble. I'll go in. I have a double-double. I have like 12 and 10.
Great game.
Or something. Good, for me, great game,
Great
right?
game, yeah.
Fly to New Orleans. We were playing some of our home games. Back to New Orleans. I see him walking down the hallway of the hotel. And he goes, "Got a little mad at me the other night, didn't you?" I go, "Yes, sir." He goes, but you stood up for yourself, and then you came back and played, and you didn't let it bother you. And from that time, I went from the whipping boy.
That's exactly what I called myself. I was Rico's whipping boy.
Yep. I went from the whipping boy to this day. He and I are pretty good friends.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because if you don't stand up for yourself,
There comes a time
Well,
you're going to have
one
to.
of two things. If you don't stand up for yourself,
Good story.
if you don't stand up for yourself, you know that the coach is right. So that's one possibility.
Yeah.
Or number two, you just don't have enough confidence to stand up for yourself.
All right, well, let's dig into what it really means and what Russ had to say afterwards and for Sean Payton today to say, we get along
Good
great.
relationship.
Bro.
You want a cup of coffee? I'm going to get a cup of coffee.
Okay, that sounds good for all of us right here, 92.5.